Hello everybody, a warm welcome again back to my channel. Yeah, we are meeting after a long time, right? So, today I am here with a new literature lesson from the Treasure Trove book, which is chapter 2 of the short story section. The name of the chapter is Old Man at the Bridge, and it is very important for your examinations, maybe it be the school examinations or for your board examinations 2022. Okay, 2021 board examinations, as you all know, it is cancelled for the ICSE as well as the CBSE boards. So without any further delay, I would like to start with the chapter Old Man at the Bridge. The writer is E. Hemingway or Ernest Hemingway. The chapter actually by itself is a very interesting chapter if you take it seriously. It is actually, the message that the chapter gives is based on or about the disruption or the loss caused to a layman or a common man when there is a artillery or a war. The common man plays no significance in the war, but the common man is affected the most by the war or by artillery or by a civil war, etc. So this story, Old Man at the Bridge, gives you all or us all the same message, that war is destructive to the lives of a layman or a common man. So without any further delay, let us get started with the text and let us see what the story tells. Okay, so first we have an old man with steel rimmed spectacles. So an old man who was wearing spectacles which were steel framed. The spectacles, the frame of the spectacles were steel framed, and very dusty clothes. He was wearing dusty clothes, sat by the side of the road. There was a road, and the old man with steel rimmed spectacles and dusty clothes sat by the road, okay, at the side. There was a pontoon bridge across the river, and the carts, trucks, and men, women, and children were crossing it. Now the word comes here, a pontoon bridge. Okay, a pontoon bridge. This word plays a very important significance in the story. The word pontoon bridge plays a very significant role. Now, there is a question which the board often asks is that what is a pontoon bridge, or describe a pontoon bridge. So, for your clarity, what is a pontoon bridge? A pontoon bridge is a temporary bridge. The bridge made up of wood and all, it is not a permanent bridge, it is a temporary bridge filled with air. A temporary bridge filled with air above a water body or above a depression. Okay, that is a pontoon bridge. Means you must have seen these temporary bridges. So a pontoon bridge is normally a temporary bridge. Okay. So, and the scene in the pontoon bridge, what was the scene? And the pontoon bridge was across a river, and carts, trucks, and men, women, and children were crossing it. Cart, trucks, men, women, and children were crossing the pontoon bridge. Okay. The mule-drawn carts. What is a mule-drawn cart? Small horses and small donkeys. So small horses and donkeys were carrying carts, were means tied up with the cart, and they were carrying carts away from the bridge to the road. Okay, the mule-drawn carts staggered up the steep bank from the bridge with soldiers helping push against the spokes of the wheels. So there is a question often given in the board examinations that describe the scenario in the bridge. So what will you write? You will write all this. There was a pontoon bridge across the river, and carts, trucks, and men, women, and children were crossing it. The mule-drawn carts staggered up the steep bank. The mule-drawn carts staggered up the steep banks of the bridge with soldiers helping push against the spokes of the wheels. Okay, the trucks ground up and away, heading out of it all. The peasants plodded along in the ankle deep dust. So there were peasants also. Peasants are farmers. Peasants also were crossing the bridge with their ankle, with the lower portion of the leg deep down in the dust. But the old man sat there without moving. So we have this old man, right? We have this old man. This old man is the protagonist of the story. This old man is the protagonist of the story, and we see that the old man sat there without moving. He was not moving at all. Everybody else was crossing the bridge, but the old man sat there. He was too tired to go any farther. So as we know by the name, old man. So old men get tired, right, doing small works only. So even this old man, he was tired and he could not move any further. It was my business. Now there is another. There is a narrator who is a soldier. Okay, this narrator. So we have two protagonists in the story, 1 and 2. The old man is the first protagonist and the narrator is the second protagonist. So the narrator is narrating the whole story. So this guy, he narrates the whole story of the old man and at the bridge. It was my business, the narrator is saying, it was my business to cross the bridge, explore the bridgehead beyond and find out to what point the enemy had advanced. So it was the narrator's business to cross the bridge, explore the bridgehead. Explore the bridgehead means explore at the farther end of the bridge and see at what point the enemy had advanced. So as there was a war going on, by all this reading we can understand that there was an artillery or a civil war or a inter-country war was going on, and so the people were rushing and crossing the bridge and all. So it was this narrator's duty to explore the bridge and find out that how far had the enemy arrived. I did this and returned over the bridge. So he went to the bridgehead, did his work, saw till where the enemy had advanced, and he came back. There were not so many carts now, and very few people on the foot. Now all the carts had moved away and there were not too many carts, and now what happened? Very few people on the foot, very few people were there on the bridge, but the old man sat there still. So this old man, as I said you people, this old man was sitting there without even moving. He was not moving at all. Where do you come from? I asked him. So the narrator asked him that, where do you come from? From San Carlos. The old man replied, what? I come from San Carlos, he said and smiled. So this word smiled, by this word smile, we understand that the old man gained pleasure when talking about his hometown. Even when we talk about our hometown, we get a pleasure, we get a happiness that ultimately brings a smile to our faces. That is the same case with the old man. When he talks about San Carlos, there is a smile that shows his heart is filled with pleasure talking about his native town or his hometown. That was his native town, and so it gave him pleasure to mention it, and he smiled. So San Carlos was the old man's native town, the place where the old man was born, and hence the place's name, when the old man takes the name of San Carlos, it gives him ultimate pleasure. His heart feels with pleasure and hence he smiles. The old man continues to say, I was taking care of animals, he explained. So the soldier did not ask anything further, but the old man continues that I was taking care of my animals. Oh, now the narrator says, oh, I said, not quite understanding. So the narrator did not understand that what is the old man saying. But he said, oh, yes, he said. I stayed, you see, taking care of animals. I was the last one to leave the town of San Carlos. So the old man continues that yes, I was taking care of my animals and I was the last person to leave the town of San Carlos, as my animals were very dear to me, very dear in my regard, and hence I could not leave them alone and come back. But when there was no option except leaving the town, I had to leave my animals behind and I had to travel further. He did not look like a shepherd. So when we talk about animals, so who takes care of animals? Of course a shepherd. But the old man did not look like shepherd, nor a herdsman. He did not even look as a herdsman. And I looked at his black dusty clothes. He was wearing black dusty clothes with his grey dusty face. He was so tired that his face was grey, it turned grey and it was dusty. And his steel rimmed spectacles, and said, what animals were they? So the narrator observed the old man thoroughly. He was wearing black dusty clothes with his grey dusty face, wearing that steel rimmed spectacles, and after observing the old man nicely, he asked that what animals were they? Various animals, he said, and shook his head. I had to leave them. So he says that I had to leave them with a sigh, with a thought of annoyment. Okay, because he loved his animals very dearly. We'll read that further in the story. And he said, various animals. I own various animals. I was watching the bridge. This again thing. The narrator speaks. I was watching the bridge and the African looking country of the Ebro Delta. The place was named, wait. The place was named Ebro Delta. Okay, also remember this. The place was named Ebro Delta, and wondering how long it would be before we would see the enemy. So he was watching the bridge and the African looking country of the Ebro Delta and wondering. So he was now wondering that the enemy would arrive very soon. The enemy is going to arrive. Okay, and wondering how long would it take before we would see the enemy. The enemy was just going to arrive, and listening all the while for the first noises that would signal that ever mysterious event called contact, and the old man still sat there. So he was thinking that when would they were in Ebro Delta, and when would the enemy was going to arrive, and how would they get to know that the enemy had arrived? By the sound of guns, right? Sounds of guns or bullets, right? But this sound gives you that the enemy has arrived. So he said that, and listening all the while for the first noises that would signal that ever mysterious events called contact, and the old man still sat there. Even after all this, after everybody had left the bridge, the old man was so exhausted that he still sat in the bridge. What animals were they? He again asks, the narrator again asks that what animals were they? Tell me the names. I asked. There were 3 animals altogether. Also remember this. What does he say? There were 3 animals. Altogether he had 3 animals. What animals were they? See now. 2 goats, right? 1 cat or a cat, and 4 pairs of pigeons, or you can write 8 pigeons. Right, remember this, 2 goats, 1 cat and 4 pairs of pigeons. These were the animals that he owned. And you had to leave them I asked. The narrator asked, and you had to leave them. Yes, because of the artillery. The captain told me to go because of the artillery. The captain who was there at San Carlos, he told the old man that, see old man, now leave the town because there is going to be a war, there is going to be artillery, and if you don't leave the town, you will be affected. Okay, and you have no family. So the narrator asks that, have you no family of your own? I asked, watching the far end of the bridge where a few last cars were hurrying down the slope of the bank. So he asked that, don't you have any family? He was looking at the bridge head where few carts were still hurrying to leave, okay, by the slope of the bank. No, he said. He had no family. Only the animals, I stated. The cat, of course, will be all right. He said that I had only my animals. My animals were as my family. I loved them as my family. And I have no other animal, no other family, I mean. So he said that a cat can look out for itself. Now see, this cat, when we talk about the cat is associated with independence, right? Cat is also the symbol of independence. So the cat can look after itself, right? But I cannot think what will become of the others. The cat will be all right because it can look after itself, but I cannot wonder that what will be with the other animals, the pigeons and the goats, right? What politics have you? I asked. The narrator asked that, what's your political background? Which political party or what do you support? I am without politics. So the old man, he was so innocent. This shows his innocence. The old man was so innocent that he was without politics. I am 76 years old. Remember this. The age of the old man, how much? 76. I am 76 years old. I have come 12 kilometers. How many kilometers had he come? 12 kilometers. Remember all these points. 76 years aged, he had traveled 12 kilometers. Right? And I think now I can go no further. Travel for a 76 years old man, traveling 12 kilometers is not easy, and after he has traveled 12 kilometers, now he is too exhausted to go any farther. This is not a good place to stop. The narrator says this is a risky place. The enemy will arrive anytime. So this is not a good place to stop. I said, if you can make it, there are trucks up the road. So if you can make it up the road, there are trucks there where it forks for Tortosa. There are trucks in the main road. So if you go to the road, if you can manage it to the road, there are trucks there, and the trucks move to Tortosa. I will wait a while, he said. So the old man said, I will wait a while and then I will go. Where do the trucks go? He said, the trucks go towards Barcelona. So old man said, okay, I'll sit a bit, then I'll go. But can you tell me where do the trucks go? So he said, the trucks go towards Barcelona. Okay. I told him, I know no one in that direction, he said. But thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you again very much. So he said, I don't know anybody in Barcelona. So what will I go to Barcelona and do? I have no relatives, no friends, nobody there. So what will I do go there? But thank you very much for your advice. Okay, he thanks the narrator 2 times for his advice, for his care that he is showing towards the old man. He looked at me very blankly and tiredly, then said, having to share his worthy with someone. So the old man now looked at the narrator very, very blankly and tiredly, as he was exhausted, and now he shares some of his personal feelings or his thoughts, okay, his worry to someone. He says, the old man says, the cat will be all right, I am sure, because the cat being the symbolism of independence, the cat will obviously be all right and can take care of itself. There is no need to be unquiet about the cat. But the others, what will happen to the cats? What will happen to the goats and the 4 pairs of pigeons? Now, what do you think about the others? So he asks the narrator, what do you think? What will happen to the others? Why they'll probably come through. It's all right. It's all right. So he said, they'll probably come through. They'll find some way. You think so? Why not? I said, watching the far bank where now there were no cars. He was still watching the far bank, the bridge head. Before, when he was watching, there were few carts which were hurrying down the bank, but now when he saw, there were no carts left. But what will they do under the artillery when I was told to leave because of the artillery? So now he says, how will they escape under the artillery? There is going to be in San Carlos, there is going to be a war. So how will they survive? He said, did you leave the dove cage unlocked? So did you leave the cage of the doves or the pigeons unlocked? I asked. Yes. So the old man says, yes, I kept the dove cage unlocked. Then they'll fly. So even the dove, what is, friends, what is pigeon thing of? Peace. They are symbol of peace. So this also, as the cage was unlocked, okay, the cage was unlocked, so they would fly, right? As the cage was unlocked, the doves would also fly. Yes, certainly they will fly, but the others, it's better not to think about the others. Now what is left? This pigeons finished, cat finished, so both they will be safe. Now others, the old man tries to say about the goat. The goats are symbolism of sacrifice. Okay, sacrifice, they are the symbolism of sacrifice. And so the old man says, it is not good to think about the goats. The goats would be killed. Okay, killed. The goats would be eaten. The goats would die out of artillery, because goats are very, very innocent animals. They cannot protect themselves. So obviously they would be eaten by someone who is hungry, or when the bombs drop, they would die because they could not save themselves. So the old man was certain about it, and it gave him a bit of sadness. Okay, if you are rested, I would. So the narrator says that if you are done, I would go. I urged, get up and try to walk now. So he says, if you had enough of rest, so get up and try to walk now, and then we can leave the bridge. Thank you, he said, and got to his feet. So the old man, he said thank you, and he got to his feet, swayed from side to side. He swayed like this, swayed from side to side, and then sat down backwards in the dust. He swayed side to side, and again he sat down back to the dust. I was taking care of animals. He said with a sigh again, I was taking care of the animals. He said dully, but no longer to me. He did not say it to me. He did not say it to the narrator. He said it to his own self. I was only taking care of the animals. There was nothing to do about him. It was Easter Sunday. Now again there is an irony used over here. Okay. There is an irony used. What is the irony? Okay, it was Easter Sunday. It was Easter. So as I said that it was Easter Sunday, and Easter Sunday symbolizes new life. Okay, It is the day of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and in the same day there was a war. There was a war taking place in the day of Easter Sunday. Okay, and these two are unequal to each other, so it is a irony. Okay, what do we call a irony? When two dissimilar things are placed together. And the faces were advancing towards the Ebro. The Ebro was the place where the old man and the narrator was, and the faces were advancing. The faces were the enemies who were advancing towards the Ebro Delta. So a history question now: where did the faces origin? Italy, right? Italy. So the enemy was Italy. You know now, the fascist race was the enemy. It was a grey overcast day with low ceiling, so the planes were not up. It was a grey overcast day. There was clouds up there in the sky, and hence the planes were not up. The planes were not up because they could not drop the bombs, right? Because it was an overcast day. That and the fact that the cats know how to look after themselves was all the good luck that the old man would ever have. So there was only two good lucks that the old man had. It was that it was a grey overcast day, and second, the grey overcast day, and the old man would not be bombed because there were no planes up, and the second good luck was the cat could take care of itself. These were the only two good lucks that the old man had. Okay, so now we come end to this topic, Old Man on the Bridge. We have completed this chapter completely with all the explanations line to line. So if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel and be a member fast. Like the video and also comment, and do not forget to share it with your friends. Why? To keep knowledge to your oneself, right? And to go get more amazing topics of history, geography and English, please I request you all that subscribe to the channel as soon as possible. Let us all grow this channel with a unity. Okay, so bye bye for today. All the best for your studies. Do well, work hard. Okay, and do everything well, do all things well as the motto. Okay, bye bye.